Good morning, my dear students. This is your physics class. Now, in this class, we are going to discuss about the third chapter, Unit 3, magnetism and magnetic effect of electric current. Magnetism and magnetic effect of electric currents. Okay, this is our third chapter, Unit 3, magnetism and magnetic effect of electric current. So, in this topic, in this lesson, we are going to see about the several things. First of all, I am divided that single unit by two. First one is at the beginning of this lesson, we are going to see about what is mean by earth magnetic field. What is mean by earth magnetic field, and next we are going to see the basic properties of the magnet. Basic properties of the magnet. First one is earth magnetic field, and second one is the basic properties of the magnet, and another one is the types of magnets. Okay, those things we are going to discuss in the first part of this lesson. And second part of this lesson, we are going to see about the several laws and Ampere's circuital law. First one is Ampere's circuital law, and Lorentz force, and tangent's law, and Biot-Savart law. Ampere's circuital law, tangent law, Biot-Savart law. That things we are going to see in the second part of this lesson as for the heading magnetic effect of electric current. And the last part of this lesson, we are going to see about the classification of the magnets, and last one is galvanometer. Okay, that all the things are in the lesson 3, magnetism and magnetic effect of electric current. Okay, so first of all, we are going to see about the earth magnetic field. Before seeing that the earth magnetic field, we are going to see the introduction part of this lesson. It is slightly touch your lower class topic also. Let's see the introduction part of this lesson. See the screen, my dear students. Our unit topic is magnetism and magnetic effect of current. Okay. See the diagram. In this diagram, we have the magnet, and we know very well each magnet having the two pole, north pole and south pole, and that magnetic lines that it is moving from the north pole of the magnet to south pole of the magnet. Okay, we know very well about this topic. The next one is some of the animals and birds. They are used the earth magnetic field for their navigation. The earth magnetic field is used by some of the birds and animals for the purpose of their navigation purpose. See the bird. This is the one special type of bird. That bird have magnetic sense in their eyes, using earth magnetic field for the navigation. Okay, these two is the same type of bird, magnetic sensing in their eyes. The name of the bird is zebra finch bird. Due to the protein cryptochrome cry4, due to the protein cryptochrome cry4 present in their retina. In the eye part, we know the retina part. In the retina part, that bird having that type of the sense, the bird use the earth magnetic field for the navigation. Okay, so this is the one special type of the bird use the earth magnetic field for their navigation purpose. The magnetism, that bird is derived from the iron ore. The bird is derived from the iron ore magnetite. The magnetism band, it is derived from the one of the iron ore magnetite, and the formula for this Fe3O4. So in olden days, the magnet, it is used for only maximum 3 uses. In olden days, we are mostly using that magnet only for the purpose of 3 uses. And first use is, it is for the navigation, and second one is, it is used for the treatment, for therapy treatment. Mostly we are using the magnet. And the third one is in a magic source. Okay, in a magic source also they are using the magnet, and for navigation and for the treatment and the magic source. Okay, so for that 3 purpose, in olden days we are mostly using the magnet. And magnetism, that is a word, it is derived from the one of the iron ore magnetite, and we have the formula for magnetite Fe3O4. Okay, so this is with respect to the olden days. In modern days, in our day-to-day life, we are repeatedly using some of the electrical and electronic devices. Almost 90% of all the electronic and electrical devices, we are using that magnet. Example for the case, if you are using a speaker, headphone, and in computer, hardware, CD disk, and in the cycle dynamo, also we have some of the magnets. Okay, the type of the magnet may be varies, but 90% of electrical and electronic devices, mostly we are using the magnet. So without magnet, we cannot use any of the electrical and electronics appliances. Okay, so that things they are discussed in the introduction part. Okay, we know very well the physics, it has several branches. We are going to discuss mainly the 2 branches. One is electricity and another one is magnetism. So in the olden days, the electricity and magnetism, that the 2 branches is a separate one. There is no link between the 2 branches. Okay, but the scientist in the 1820, our scientist Oyster demonstrate one of the experiment. From that experiment by the scientist Oyster, the experiment concluded several things. First of all, we are going to see the experiment by the scientist Oyster. Oyster experimental arrangement is a simple. We have one of the electrical conducting wire, and we are passing high amount of current through the conducting material, and near that conducting material we get the magnetic compass. Okay, now if the current is passing through the wire, there is some deflection is produced in the needle of the compass. Okay, there is some deflection. It may be a right hand side or it may be a left hand side. Some of the deflection induced in the needle of the compass. That deflection is due to the magnetic field. The needle present in the magnetic compass is due to the magnetic induction or the magnetic field. So when the current is passing through the wire, definitely it is associated with some of the magnetic field. That magnetic field produces the deflection in the needle of the magnetic compass. So after the experiment of the scientist Oyster, the electricity and magnetism, the 2 branches is not a separate one. We combine the 2 branches, we call by one name, it is called as electromagnetism. It is called as electromagnetism. So electromagnetism, it is a combination of electricity and the magnetism. It is one of the main branches in physics. Okay. Next topic. Next we are going to see about the earth magnetic field. Earth magnetic field. We know very well, and already you are studying in your lower standard. Earth, we consider Earth is a magnet. It has the 2 poles, North Pole and South Pole, and the Earth magnetic field lines are moving from starting point is north and it is terminated at the point south. So the lines, magnetic lines from the Earth, it is originated from the North Pole and it is terminated at the South Pole. Now we are going to see the Earth magnetic field in the diagram. See this one. This is the direction of the magnetic field lines due to the bar magnet, because it has the rectangular shape, so we call it is a bar magnet. So this is the magnetic field lines produced from the bar magnet. Next we are going to see the earth magnetic field. See this one, my dear students. This is our earth. So earth is self-spinning about its axis, and now we are going to see the topic is earth magnetic field. So we can say this portion is the north pole and this one is the south pole. So earth is automatically spinning by itself. The magnetic field, earth magnetic field is starting from the originating point is the north pole and it is terminated at the south pole. So it is traveling from north pole to south pole. That is the direction of the earth magnetic field. Okay. See the diagram. This is the diagram representation for the magnetic lines produced from the earth magnet. We consider earth, it acts as a magnet. So the magnetic lines is produced from the north pole and it is terminated at the south pole. Okay. The earth magnetic field, I saw it in the diagram. Next, we are going to see about the 2 mark question. First 2 mark question in this lesson. It is called as geomagnetism. This is called as a geomagnetism, or otherwise it is as a terrestrial magnetism. Geomagnetism, or otherwise it is called as a terrestrial magnetism. What is meant by that? The terrestrial magnetism, it is one of the branches in physics. It deals with the earth magnetic field. It is one of the branches in physics. It deals with the earth magnetic field. Okay. And next topic is if you want to describe the earth magnetic field, first of all, we are going to see some of the quantities. That means we are going to see the 3 quantities. The 3 quantity is a main thing to describe the earth magnetic field. The first quantity is magnetic declination, and second one is magnetic tip, or otherwise it is called as magnetic inclination, and the third quantity is called as horizontal F magnetic component, horizontal component of F magnetic field. So that 3 quantity is very important and it plays a main role to describe the earth magnetic field. First one is magnetic declination and second one is magnetic tip, or otherwise it is called as magnetic inclination, and third one is called as horizontal component of earth magnetic field. So next we are going to see each quantity separately. Okay, and before enter in this topic, we are going to see about some of the axes. 2 axes we are going to discuss in this lesson. First one is geographic axis and second one is a magnetic axis. 2 type of axis, geographic axis and another one is a magnetic axis. Okay, and we know very well the day and night, alternately we are having the day and night. It is due to the spinning of the earth. It is due to the spinning of the earth. Maybe a question they are asking in a reasoning part, why the day and night comes alternately. It is due to the spinning of earth. Okay, so earth is spinning with respect to the own axis. Earth is spinning with respect to the own axis, that axis is called as a geographic axis. That axis is called as a geographic axis. So what is meant by geographic axis? The earth is spinning or it is rotated with respect to the one axis. That axis is called as a geographic axis. Okay, if we consider this one is a geographic axis. Now I draw the vertical plane. One vertical plane. That vertical plane is with respect to the geographic axis. That vertical plane is called as a geographic meridian. It is called as a geographic meridian. So vertical plane with respect to the geographic axis, it is called as a geographic meridian. And next one is already you see the axis. That axis is magnetic axis. The magnetic axis is nothing but it is the line drawn between the two end part of the magnet. Line drawn between the two end part of the magnet. That means the two end part is nothing but north pole and south pole. Okay, the line joining the north pole and south pole of the magnet, that axis, that line is called as a magnetic axis. Okay, here also if we consider this is a magnetic axis, where this line is joining the north and south pole. And here also if we have the vertical plane with respect to the magnetic axis, it is called as a magnetic meridian. It is called as a magnetic meridian. So magnetic meridian, and here we have another one, geographic meridian. Geographic meridian, it is a vertical plane with respect to the geographic axis. Here magnetic meridian is nothing but it is a vertical plane with respect to the magnetic axis. So now we discuss the two more questions. One is what is meant by geographic axis, and another one is what is meant by magnetic axis. And as well as we have another one question, geographic meridian. Define geographic meridian, and another one is define magnetic meridian. Okay, so we discuss two more questions. One is related with the other question. Okay, and next two more questions. If you draw a perpendicular enlarged circle, to a geographic axis. So that geographic axis, draw a perpendicular circle, enlarged perpendicular circle to the geographic axis. It is called as a geographic equator. It is called as a geographic equator. And here also, if you draw one enlarged circle with respect to the magnetic axis, earth magnetic axis, draw a perpendicular circle to the earth magnetic axis, it is called as a earth magnetic equator. It is called as earth magnetic equator. So now we have two more questions. We discussed two more questions. One is with respect to the axis, here one axis and here one axis, and the next one is with respect to the meridian. And here one meridian and there one meridian, and the third one is with respect to the equator. So totally we discussed two more questions. Two more question is very important. Okay, and next we are going to see the BH, horizontal component of earth magnetic field. Horizontal component of earth magnetic field. For the statement for horizontal component of earth magnetic field, BH, it is a component of the earth magnetic field along the horizontal direction. It is a component of earth magnetic field along the horizontal direction of magnetic meridian. Along the horizontal direction of magnetic meridian. Okay, so the statement for BH, horizontal component of earth magnetic field, is defined as the component of earth magnetic field in horizontal direction, along the horizontal direction of magnetic meridian. Okay, next we are going to see the statement for declination and the statement for inclination. Okay. The first quantity is magnetic declination. It is not the letter D, magnetic declination. Before entering the topic, we must see the simplest topic. The topic is, if we are freely suspended a bar magnet, the alignment of the bar magnet along with the earth magnetic field. The north pole of the bar magnet, it comes to the south side of the earth magnet, and south pole of the bar magnet, it comes to the north side of the earth magnet. Okay, that is the alignment, but that north pole does not exactly match with the south pole of the earth magnet. Here also the same. There is some deviation in between the alignment of the bar magnet and the earth magnet. There is some deviation produced. Okay, that deviation is used to define the magnetic declination. So the magnetic declination is the angle between the geographic meridian and the magnetic meridian. It is an angle between the geographic meridian at a point and the magnetic meridian. Okay, so simply we call it is the difference. It is the angle between the geographic meridian and the magnetic meridian. That angle we are going to denote the letter D. So D is called as a declination or magnetic declination. The statement for the declination is the angle between the geographic meridian and the magnetic meridian. This is one very important 2-mark question. And the next question is magnetic inclination. Magnetic inclination. For magnetic inclination, for the statement, we are going to draw this diagram. This is with respect to BH, the horizontal component of earth magnetic field. And if you consider, this is the direction of the net magnetic field, direction of the total earth magnetic field. Okay, so that angle is nothing but it is called as a magnetic tip or magnetic inclination. Magnetic tip or magnetic inclination. So the angle between or the angle suspended between the total earth magnetic field and the horizontal direction of horizontal component of the earth magnetic field. It is the angle between the total earth magnetic field and the horizontal component of the earth magnetic field. The direction of horizontal component of the earth magnetic field and the direction of the total earth magnetic field. So magnetic tip is called as a angle between the total earth magnetic field and the direction of the horizontal component of the earth magnetic field. So we describe the two statements. One is for magnetic declination, another one is for magnetic inclination, and another one statement already we discussed. That statement is BH. BH is the horizontal component of earth magnetic field. The statement for this case, it is a horizontal component of the earth magnetic field. The statement is the component of the earth magnetic field. The component of the earth magnetic field along the horizontal direction of the magnetic meridian. Along the direction of the magnetic meridian. Horizontal direction along the magnetic meridian. So we discussed all the three quantities: declination, inclination, and horizontal component of the magnetic field. Okay, now we are going to see the component. In this case, it is separated into two components. One is horizontal and another one is a vertical component, horizontal component, and another one is a vertical component. The vertical component we are going to denote the letter BV. This one is a horizontal component. So totally the earth magnetic field is divided into a two component. One is horizontal earth magnetic field component, another one is a vertical component. We are going to see the formula for vertical component and the horizontal component. And again, this is the direction of the total earth magnetic field, and this is resolved into two components. One is horizontal component. I am taking this is a BH, this is a horizontal component, and another one is a vertical component. This vertical component is taken the letter BV. BV is a vertical component of earth magnetic field. BH is a horizontal component of earth magnetic field. This B is called as a total magnetic field, earth magnetic field. So I am taking this is the angle between the B and BH. I am taking this is the angle theta, or we call this is the angle is nothing but tip. Okay, magnetic tip or magnetic inclination. So I am taking the letter I. I is refer magnetic tip or magnetic inclination. Okay. Now we are going to. I am taking this is a point O. This one is A. This point is A. This point is B. So using the triangle OAB, we are going to calculate the cos I and sin I. We are going to calculate the two factors cos I and sin I. What is the value of cos I? We know the formula for cos I and we know the formula for sin I. By using the trigonometric relation sin theta and cos theta, we are going to apply the formula in this case cos I and sin I. For cos I, BH divided by B. If we are taking this is a BE, B is a earth magnetic field, we can write as a BE, or simply we can use the letter B. Okay, for sin I, we got the formula. This is for sin I, opposite side AE, it is nothing but the vertical component, so BV divided by B. So by using this trigonometric relation cos I and sin I, we can write it like this: BH is equal to B cos I and BV is equal to B sin I. So that is the relation between the horizontal and vertical component with respect to the magnetic inclination I. So there is a relation between horizontal and magnetic inclination. It is a vertical component and magnetic inclination. So this formula plays a main role to calculate the BH and BV value in a numerical problem. So what is the formula for horizontal component of electromagnetic field? It is equal to B cos I. What is the formula for vertical component of electromagnetic field? It is equal to B sin I. Now we are going to use this formula for the special cases. The special cases is nothing but if we are going to align the needle in the horizontal direction. If you are align the needle in the compass in a horizontal direction. Horizontal direction means we are taking the I value is equal to 0. Inclination angle is 0. If the I value is 0, the theta value is 0 means the sin 0, 0. So we have the value BV is equal to 0. Okay. For I is equal to 0 means cos 0, 1. So we are having the maximum value for horizontal component of earth magnetic field. It is a maximum value. This one is a 0 value when the needle of the compass is aligned in a horizontal direction. That means the angle of inclination is 0 means the BV, vertical component of the earth magnetic field is 0, horizontal component of the earth magnetic field is a maximum value. This is the case 1, special case 1. For the second case, special case 2, we are applying the reverse. I is 90 degree. That means the needle of the compass is aligned vertically. The tip value is equal to 90 degree. The inclination value is 90 degree. So we are applying the I is equal to 90 degree to into this two formula. We are getting the value for cos 90 it is 0. So BH value is equal to 0. For sin 90 it is 1. So we have the value BV is equal to B, maximum value. So we are getting the maximum value for vertical component of earth magnetic field, and we have the 0 value for horizontal component of earth magnetic field when we are applying the condition I is equal to 90 degree. So we have the two special cases. One is I is equal to 90 degree, one is I is equal to 0 degree. If they are asking in your exam, they are using the value maybe 180 degree. What changes produced in a BH and BV? If they are given the value is 180 degree, maybe they are given, or they are given the value 270 degree also. Okay. If they are given for a comparison of BH and BV, maybe they are given any values in between 0 to 360 degree. Maybe they are given any value for our numerical comparison. But in your textbook, they are compared only two things. One is horizontally and another one is vertically. That means I is 0 degree and I is 90 degree only discussed in your textbook. Okay. And next we are going to see about some of the basic properties of the magnets. First one is magnetic dipole moment. It is denoted the letter P. Already the dipole moment we are discussed in the first chapter, electric dipole moment. There also we are using the same notation P. Here we are going to see about the topic magnetic dipole moment. It is due to the magnetic field, that one is due to the electric field. Okay. The formula for magnetic dipole moment, P is equal to, for magnetic field, so Pm is equal to Qm multiplied with D. That Qm is nothing but the magnetic strength, and D is the distance between the pole of the distance between the pole of the magnets. This Qm is called as a magnetic strength, and D is called as a distance between the poles in a magnet. If you consider the one bar magnet, because it has a rectangular area, so I am taking this is a north pole, this one is a south pole. So the distance between the two poles in a magnet, it is called as a D. And if we are taking this is a center part of the magnet, this length is called as L, this length is called as another one L. So the total distance D is called as 2L. Okay, so the magnetic dipole moment is defined as the product of magnetic strength and the distance between the poles in a particular magnet. Qm multiplied with D. It is the formula to calculate the magnetic dipole moment. This length is called as a magnetic length. This length D is called as a magnetic length or magnet length. This is called as a magnetic length. And the unit for a magnetic dipole moment is ampere meter square. The unit for the magnetic dipole moment is called as ampere meter square. And the magnetic dipole moment is a vector quantity because this is a vector quantity. The magnetic dipole moment, the direction of the magnetic dipole moment is always from the south to north pole. The magnetic dipole moment direction is always south to north pole, but the direction of magnetic lines is from north pole to south pole. The topic we are discussing later. Now the direction of the magnetic dipole moment is from south pole to north pole, and the unit is ampere meter square. And the formula for magnetic dipole moment, Pm is equal to Qm into D. This is a vector quantity. So this one is a vector quantity. And the next topic is magnetic field. This is the letter B. Okay. Already we studied the electric field in a first chapter, electrostatics. Now we are going to see about the magnetic field here. Magnetic field is defined as the force experienced by a unit pole strength. Qm, unit pole strength. Force experienced by a unit pole strength. And in first chapter we have studied about that the electric field is nothing but force experienced by a unit charge. Here force experienced by a unit pole strength. Okay, so this is the formula to calculate the magnetic field. And we can write the unit for this case, and the unit for force is Newton, and the unit for Q unit is ampere meter power 1. So here we are taking this is a power minus 1. So Newton ampere power minus 1 and meter power minus 1. It is a unit for magnetic field. Okay, and the next topic is types of magnets. You know very well the magnet, it can be classified into two types. One is a permanent magnet and another one is a induced magnet or artificial magnet. Two types, permanent magnet and another one is a artificial magnet. Okay, the permanent magnet, it does not have any regular shape, but the artificial magnet, it can have a regular shape. We can design as per our convenience. If you are designing a rectangular or a cylindrical shape, we call it as a bar magnet, or and we have some of the dotted magnet also. In U-shape magnet also we have, but a regular magnet, that means the natural magnet, it does not have any regular shape. The example for the natural magnet, it is made up of the material iron and nickel. That's are some of the example for the natural magnet. Cobalt also is in the category of the natural magnet. Compared with the artificial magnet, the natural magnet, it have a very weak attractive and repulsive power. But the artificial magnet, we can design by our convenience. If we need a more attraction and repulsion, for our convenience, we can modify that magnetic field strength in a artificial manner. Okay, so compared with the artificial, the natural magnet have very weak power. Okay, so in this class we discuss introduction part, what is mean by earth magnetic field, and what is mean by D, what is mean by I, for BH and BV, and finally we derive the equation for the magnetic dipole moment and the magnetic field. So now I am stopped up to this level in this class. Next class we are going to see the basic properties of the magnetic field lines and basic properties of the magnets. We are going to compare the basic property of the ordinary magnet with respect to the earth magnet. That things we are going to discuss in the next class. So thank you my dear students. Thank you.